of their own shortcomings, having chosen criticism over compassion. Indeed, wisdom often comes wrapped in children's simple acts of kindness, proving that true heroism lies in helping others, not in hurried judgments. 6 months ago, Emma acquired a golden retriever puppy, christening her Lila. Initially, I dismissed it as jest, but she insisted it was simply a name. Though unsettled, I remained silent. After years battling fertility challenges and loss, my wife is now expecting our miracle daughter. The name Lila has been my cherished dream since adolescence, a tribute to my beloved grandma Delilah. My family knew this, and my wife shared my sentiment. At the baby shower, my aunt's comment about naming our daughter after Emma's pet pierced just a dog's name. Her flippant response about the awkwardness being solely my burden stung further. With Emma's wedding approaching, childish, her reaction only amplifies the disconnect between us. Growing up, our time gradually drew us apart. During one Christmas, this conversation unexpectedly rekindled my friendship with Jake, but our family's interference intensified. Brother orchestrated my unwitting appearance at Jake's to ease Tracy's concerns. The next day, a misrepresented video of our departure to the pain they'd caused. Other's shadow. He drifts through life, leaving a trail of neglected children with different women, yet somehow maintains his golden child status in our mother's eyes. When Mom requested $2,000 with unusual urgency, I transferred it with Lee. Rather than attending the meticulously planned family celebration, he'd used the occasion to rendezvous with a stranger. His tryst struck deep. When confronted, she fumbled through vague excuses about house repairs, but her evasive eyes betrayed the truth. Standing in our family kitchen, I finally drew a line. I wouldn't let my labor fuel his irresponsibility anymore. I cradled the knowledge of our third daughter-to-be. His fingers drummed restlessly on the steering wheel. "It must be in your genes," he mused, brandishing his brother's male-dominated families as proof of his innocence. The tension coiled between us like a spring until we reached Herman's gender, shattered his certainty like fine china. He fled the room, leaving only empty, unspoken regret, revealing a man grappling with expectations he never knew were misplaced. Driving theorized that my sister's presence in my family tree predetermined our children's gender, like leaves falling from the same branch. When I challenged this notion, he countered with examples of his brother's genetics fell on deaf ears, like whispers lost in a storm. At his mother's termed my explanation. His wounded pride later surfaced as accusations of public humiliation. Through it all, our unborn daughter continued growing, oblivious to the storm brewing over her existence. She accepted my invitation to though not religious herself, her thorns. She curtly dismissed. She's not anywhere-in-law away in tears, while fury burned in my chest at this senseless rejection. Friend's modest wedding reception, the buffet sequence began with family members who stood bare. Driven by hunger, we orchestrated a pizza delivery, sharing slices with fellow guests who'd also missed the main course. This impromptu solution, drinking without sustenance. The situation escalated when a well-fed in-law requested a slice of our pizza. My refusal at my friend's insistence. Exclusion under the pretense of age. Being 19, she claimed my presence would complicate their alcohol service. Despite my mature relationship with drinking, occasional sips rather than regular indulgence, their minds heading past like a distant storm. When Saturday arrived, bringing their celebratory family dinner invitation, I declined with quiet firmness. My explanation was simple as morning frost. Why celebrate an event from which I was barred? Initially, my parents accepted my stance with understanding nods. However, the dinner's atmosphere soured when my absence crystallized. My brother and his wife's disappointment rippled through the gathering, transforming me into the villain who had cast shadows over their special moment. The family's blame fell heavy as winter snow, though I had merely chosen to honor the boundary. Though I maintained a small business for personal spending, he delighted in surprising me with elegant gifts. Recently, when I added his requested items to our monthly groceries, the slight increase, our heated exchange ended in silence. Neck and wrists. Days later, I explained my resolve to dispel his doubts about my motives. His shoulders slumped as he walked away, and we've spent 4 days in crushing silence. My friends suggest my dramatic gesture wounded him deeply, making him feel rejected rather than trusted. Now I wonder if my defense against being labeled a gold digger has only from juggling school. When she recovered, I finally pursued my dreams in college, where I met Ben. Our love blossomed, and post-graduation, life seemed perfect, until I discovered him in bed with my sister. Her tearful me blamed my sister's past illness for her actions. They demanded I embrace their relationship, threatening to cut ties if I refused. Even extended family rallied behind them, claiming my jealousy was overshadowing their first grandchild's arrival. The people I cherished most, my sister I nursed back to health, the man I trusted with my future, and the parents who raised me. But perhaps 20, she announced her relationship with Tom, an uncharacteristic disclosure given her typically transparent nature. Her sudden reticence about sharing details, beyond mentioning a chance encounter at a gathering through shared acquaintances, stirred unease. After a month at her university, Ellie requested to introduce Tom during her weekend visit home. Despite our reservations about this mysterious figure, we acquiesced. The airport meeting shattered any remaining composure, suffocating silence, our daughter's worried glances noting the tension. In our living room, the truth surfaces like a thunderclap. Tom's admission of being 44, nearly 2 years my husband's junior, sent ice through my veins. When pressed about their connection, Ellie rushed to defend their shared interests from that fateful party. My husband's directive for Tom's departure sparked Ellie's protests about missed opportunities and genuine happiness, but she followed his retreating figure into the gathering dusk. 6 years ago, I gained custody of my niece after her mother, my sister, was imprisoned for drug offenses. The revelation of abuse in her mother's care spurred me to action. Through extensive legal battles costing over 6 figures, I secured guardianship, presenting evidence that proved my home offered stability and safety. My sister's drug addiction had cast long shadows over my niece's childhood, leading to court-mandated child support payments. Now, despite family pressure to forgive a $30,000 debt as my sister claims sobriety, I stand firm. I've offered family members the chance to cover her obligation, but none step forward. While they insist I must warn others about my son's condition. At just 14, he battles kleptomania, a diagnosed disorder that compels him to take things. Despite his otherwise gentle and courteous nature, he's receiving professional help, but the urge persists. I've implemented strict measures, informing his school administration, notifying parents of his peers, maintaining detailed records of our possessions, and requiring proof of purchases. I regard him with constant wariness. The remaining students remain unaware of his struggles. Recently, he received an invitation to join classmates at their home. Following protocol, I disclosed his condition to the hosting parents, requesting discretion and promising to address any missing items. However, they shared this information with their child, who spread it throughout the group. The aftermath was devastating. His peers turned against him, forcing him to retreat home in tears. Through his sobs, he accused me of destroying his social life by labeling him a thief. The sound of his bedroom door locking punctuated his distress. Despite years of therapy and every preventive measure imaginable, we haven't overcome this challenge. My heart aches watching him suffer, but I feel compelled to alert those whose homes he visits. The weight of my responsibility crashes against the waves of his pain, and I stand paralyzed, searching for alternatives that seem just out of reach. A single snapshot shattered our family like delicate glass on concrete. It happened at my cousin Bianca's 21st birthday celebration, hosted at her parents' home where she still resided. The gathering brought together our entire clan, including her boyfriend Vincent and our Aunt Kami. As the evening unfurled, Kami requested I capture moments on her phone, a task that suited my wallflower nature perfectly. While framing shots, a message flashed across the screen. Vincent's name, accompanied by words expressing his eagerness for the party's conclusion. The profile picture confirmed my suspicion. It was indeed Bianca's Vincent. I maintained my silence, returning the device to Kami without comment. Minutes later, when Vincent enlisted Kami, there they stood, locked in an intimate embrace. My phone captured their betrayal in pixels before I melted back into the house undetected. The gift-giving ceremony commenced, faces bright with anticipation until my turn arrived. Instead of a wrapped package, I offered Bianca my phone, the screen illuminating their deception. Her composure crumbled like autumn leaves, her joy transforming into a tempest of tears and accusations. Vincent and Kami stammered weak defenses about just one kiss, but their locked phones spoke volumes of guilt. In the aftermath, as Kami and Vincent retreated and the celebration lay in ruins, judgment rained down from all sides. Some relatives condemned my timing. Others questioned my right to reveal the truth at all. Their anger washed over me in waves, but beneath their criticism, I remained anchored to my conviction. Truth, however painful, deserves its moment in the light. At 27, I orchestrated an unconventional escape from my parents' iron grip. Their religious convictions cast, they adamantly refused to let us share quarters under their roof, leading us to seek hotel accommodation. This alternative sparked relentless criticism. The Thanksgiving confrontation brought their ultimatum about Christmas lodging. I carefully worded my response, promising only to avoid hotels. Fortunately,